Hey, Terry.
Good day, young road dog.
What's wrong with the bus?
I am unsure, road dog. At first, we were in perfect harmony with the road, but now we do not move.
Any suggestions?
Follow the signs for the exit. There, you will find your answer.
See you later, Terry.
Stay safe, young road dog.
Point-and-click adventure games. Usually a game with a deep story and puzzles where you literally point and click your way through the game. In 2020, something happened to the world that made everyone stay at home and pretend to be in a Renaissance painting. You know the ones where they all lie around half naked eating food? During that time, a lot of people tried to learn a new hobby. I was one of them. I've always wanted to make a video game, more specifically a point-and-click adventure game. I love the stories that pull you into another world, the puzzles that make you think, the music that makes you feel. When you speak to someone who's played those early games, you'll often hear Monkey Island, or Broken Age. But for me, it was Full Throttle. Maybe it was the incredible cinematics. Maybe it was the music.
Now there goes some boys I can ride with. Step on it. Let's find out who they are.
But something in that game has stuck with me to this day. So what's my background? Game designer? No. Artist? Also no. I come from the world of events. I'm a production manager for events and festivals. I've been working in this industry for over 15 years, and through that time I've met some amazing people and gained some awesome stories. When the big lockdown happened,
you must stay at home.
I tried to write a book about my time on the road, but the stories seemed so far-fetched I didn't think anyone would believe them. They seemed to be more akin to something from an adventure game. Cue me trying to learn how to make an adventure game. How to make an adventure game. There was a time when games required a bit of this to make a game, but technology has moved on so much it's become easier. Not easy, but easier. It still requires a lot of hard work. How do I know this? Because I already made a game. Like an actual point-and-click adventure game, and it worked, to a degree. I roughly sketched out some scenes, I got some player characters from the internet and animated them. I was so proud. I'd made a short demo of my dream game, and I shared it around. But then I got the feedback. The dialogue system is buggy. There are bugs all through your game. Your characters don't match the scenes. Your game looks crap. It felt boring. Not enough puzzles. I realised that not everyone knows what a roadie is. I went headfirst into this game thinking everyone knew my industry, that they would understand what a tour bus was and what a roadie did. I didn't want to give up on this idea. I know it could be a really fun game, but I have a lot to learn. How to make a fun adventure game. Fun is subjective. Some people like horror games, some people like action, but if the game doesn't have good features that pull the player in, it will never be a good game. Creating a game is a challenging and complex process that involves a lot of different skills and disciplines, as I've learnt from my own experience. Even a simple point-and-click adventure game requires a lot of work and attention to detail. One of the most important aspects of any adventure game is the story. A good story can keep players engaged and motivated to keep playing, even when the puzzles get tough. But coming up with a compelling story is easier said than done. It takes time, creativity, and a willingness to iterate and revise until you get it right. Another key element of an adventure game is the puzzles. Puzzles are what make adventure games unique and challenging, and they can range from simple inventory puzzles to complex logic puzzles and everything in between. But designing good puzzles is also a difficult task that requires a lot of trial and error. In addition to the story and puzzles, there are many other aspects of game design that you need to consider. For example, you need to think about the visual style of the game, the user interface, the music, and the sound effects, and the overall gameplay mechanics. But perhaps the most important thing to keep in mind when making a game is to have fun. Game development can be frustrating and time-consuming, but it can also be incredibly rewarding and satisfying. And when you finally release your game and see people enjoying it, all the hard work will be worth it. Over the coming episodes, I plan on dissecting my game and discussing all aspects with you. So I'd like to open a dialogue with you all now. In the comments section below, I want to know what you look for in an adventure game. What first attracts you to handing over your hard-earned money? If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.